Hello, hello world. It's your girl Phoenix Novelle, and I am here from T.A.G Live, Artists on the Rise, with the one and only Miss Yindi, aka Songbird. We are doing an artist interview with this lovely lady, and as I get to know her, I want to share exactly what I get to know with you. So tune in. Yindi.
Yes, yes.
It is a pleasure sharing a stage with you every night. You are a beast on and off stage. And I just want to know, who are you? Where did you come from? Tell me about your life going there. Tell me about where you're from.
Venus, man. No.
She's from Venus. I'm from Jupiter.
And we're special. Anyways, actually, I was born in Manhattan, New York.
Okay.
But I lived in Jamaica for 11 years and then ventured over to Florida into the States. So I've bounced around, but I got a little Jamaican in me and a little American in me.
So your parents are both Jamaicans?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
And do you miss Jamaica? Like, when was the last time you've been back home?
I think the last time I went back home was last year.
Really?
When we went on tour with Kim. Yeah.
Cool.
When we went on tour, but we weren't out there for that long. It was only 2 days. So.
Was it just like you remembered it, or had it changed a lot?
Well, we were kind of working, so I didn't get to see too much of Kingston. That's where I was. That's where I was raised, in Kingston. But it did change a lot back then. We did a concert in the middle of Halfway Tree, which is like the center of the city, downtown in Kingston, and we did a concert there. And I remember back then it was nothing but dollar buses and market ladies and people walking the streets. But now it's huge LED screens, like Times Square. Yeah, it's crazy in Kingston. Like, yeah, man, Jamaica done big itself up real quick. So,
so wow, okay. So when you were young, growing up in Jamaica, did you have a passion for singing from your earliest ages, or was it something that you kind of just like started to do later on, like when you got to the States?
I have always had a love for performing arts. I was acting, dancing, singing, doing instruments. Yes,
you're actress.
Yes. That's why we're so like totally fabulous.
Like,
anyways,
sometimes on stage.
Yeah, loca. But I've been singing. I've been wanting to sing since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Neighbors used to come to all the parties because my mom used to like have the best parties ever in Jamaica. Yeah, so every time my mom had a party, I would stay up with the adults and be the entertainment of the night. So I was dancing and singing and stuff for the neighbors and for her friends and stuff. So I wanted to then, plus like watching Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Lionel Richie, Phil Collins. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Wow.
Made me want to be like, I like the lights.
Like, what made you decide that singing was going to be something that you were going to focus on more than anything else?
Well, crazy enough, I focused more on dance. So I was in ballet and modern dance till I was about 10. And then when my mom moved, when we moved to Florida, she wanted me to go to Juilliard later on in my career as I got older.
So you were like that good?
Well, yeah, I was really good in ballet, and I breakdanced too. I took like a whole bunch of stuff. But
now I share the stage with her every night here in Bangkok, Thailand, and I have never seen you breakdance. You booty shake like a queen, but breakdancing though, that's like something
yeah,
new.
I used to breakdance, and I actually injured my knee like 3 years ago doing a windmill, so I kind of stay away from it. But yeah, so I was breakdancing. I didn't really started focusing on singing, like majoring it, until when I was going to Dillard Performing Arts, which is a high school in Fort Lauderdale. It was about like, well, no, let's take that back. When I was in Philly, because I lived in Philly for like 2 years.
Philly, y'all know I'm from Philly.
You already know Philly. Motown, Philly, back again.
What you know about that?
I joined a gospel group. We made a gospel group together, some of my middle school friends, and that's when I really started thinking, oh, maybe I should do music. So we started entering competitions around the city and stuff. And then my mom quickly moved me back to Florida when she found out my dad was taking me to agriculture school and placed me into performing arts school. And that's when, yeah, exactly. Thank God for my mom. She's a tough one. And
Does she also sing?
She sings a little bit. She would say she sings, but my mom doesn't sing often. I think she sings very well, but she don't sing better than me. So
Lights out, mama.
But yeah, so I went to performing arts school at Dillard High School and got offered a record deal with Priority Records. We were managed by James DeBarge from the DeBarge.
Oh my goodness.
So that's Janet Jackson's ex-husband.
How old were you then?
I was 14. So we signed a record deal September 29th of 1995.
Wow.
Because I know it was like a few days after my birthday.
Oh my God, that was. Were you excited? What was that like, having a record deal at such a young age?
Oh my gosh, we were so excited and we were so determined. And at a young age, I was very aware that it was going to be hard. Plus, our managers, they made sure that they informed us of all the challenges that we may face, and they were very protective too. You know, so we would go to the studio and work like 2 weeks straight with no sleep. We just take our pillows and our blankets and we take a nap. Each person would take a nap while the other person was in the booth recording. Okay. So that's how we did it.
Destiny's Child-esque.
Yes, exactly. One time for Garfield, because Garfield used to make us use his car, underage driver.
Garfield?
Garfield Baker was also a manager. We had 2 managers. So, and they were also our writer and producers. I wrote for the group and vocally produced the group.
At 14?
Yeah.
I mean, like seriously, I've heard her music right now. You got a single right now on iTunes that just dropped called Love Chant. So I know you're an amazing writer. But let me ask you, okay, so you started off when you had a record deal at 14. You were basically entering a world of like, you know, a lot of just grown people-ish. Would you say that you learned so much and that you're actually happy that you signed at such a young age? Or would you say that it was a waste of time?
I don't think it was a waste of time. I think we didn't really get a chance to kind of like go out there and do a lot. We were supposed to replace TLC with L.A. Reid. Yeah, but we ended up losing that contract, unfortunately, for some other reasons that I really wish not to say. But we ended up signing with Luke Records, so Uncle Luke, that's who we signed with, and we were like the youngest group, so they didn't allow us to do anything but record. If we went to the concerts, like we weren't allowed to perform in the concerts because they were X-rated, and in the 90s that was not cool. So we ended up just staying backstage, but I got to meet like ODB and Ghostface and all them. And
did you know who they were at 14?
What? Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. Are you killing me? Like, come on, coming from Philly, you gotta know them.
But sharing the stage with you every night, you know, I already know what you can do vocally, but listening to the music that you wrote, it just blew me away. Because some artists, you know, they're really good cover singers. You know, they're really good at, you know, making what somebody else made famous better, you know, and performing it in front of people and, you know, getting praise. But when you actually get behind the pen and you write something and put it out there in hopes that the world will receive it the same way that they receive well-known artists, it takes guts, it takes passion, and I think, I mean,
and get behind the booth too, girl.
I'm sitting here in awe, seriously, because listen, I'm not saying that you're the only artist that I've heard that's been exceptional, but like listening to it, because I am a producer and I listen to it not just as a singer, I was just like, this is a hit, like, period. And I'm not very.
That's what's up.
I mean,
it coming from her, that's important to me, because like she's very in detail. Like we're both in detailed people.
No, you know, the thing about it is that I was a songwriter at that age too. When you first started at 14, I was writing for years. And one of the hardest things for a singer-writer, is to work with producers, because you have to convince them that what you had and what you made to their track is good enough. You know, they want to get their songs placed. And I used to get stuck, basically. So I would write to a producer's track or try to get a producer to make a track to my song, and then they get an offer from somebody to buy their track,
right?
You know, or they get
you're like trying to fight for the track,
or they get a well-known writer. You know, it's about relationships a lot sometimes, these deals, and unfortunately, you know, you can't fight if you don't have the money. You know, it's all about, you know, placements at that time to get your name known. And so what I did was I got tired of that, and I went out there and I bought myself an MPC. MPC 2008. Listen, I I got some samples, some loops. I had some friends of mine who were producers to just like give me a zip drive and put some sounds on them joints, and I started to make beats to my songs, and it was just like they were horrible. I mean, they were horrible.
Yeah, but
I was
that's how
so
you
happy.
make hot beats. You gotta start from somewhere.
And producers were like, this is whack. This ain't gonna work. But you know what? It was just a simple fact that I now have control 100%. So when I listen to a singer, a writer, and who has like a song that they're ready to put out, my first impression is, okay, is this ready or ready? Because I've been always told it ain't ready or ready. It ain't ready. You got
Right.
you know, mixed and mastering. And listening to yours, I was just like, oh my God, this is ready or ready. With the feature you have, what's his name? The guy who's on the song with you?
Paul Anthony.
Paul Anthony is amazing, like ridiculous. The ad libs, just the build up, everything is just so, it's catchy. It's really catchy, and just not to be all like bowing down, but you are dope. Seriously, as a cover singer, sharing the stage with you every night, and like I know that whatever level you take your original material, you will be widely received because you have a long future ahead of you. Seriously, no.
Thank you. Give thanks. I'm
Seriously.
praying.
I want to ask you, who inspired that song, Love Chant? Who's that about? Boyfriend?
It wasn't about anyone. You know what's so crazy? I don't think I've ever really wrote a song about my personal life until
Seriously?
until like a few months ago. I used to watch movies and like I'm a huge empath, so I used to like watch movies or hear someone's story and then totally feel empathetic towards it, and I would just like write a song in like 15 minutes. Like I heard it at, I was doing a photo shoot, and I heard it in the room next to me because I was at Studio 504, and they have like separate rooms for different things. So while I'm doing my makeup, I hear it and I'm like, yo, this beat is hot. So after my photo shoot, I went in there and listened to it, sat down with Emmanuel Brilliant, and you got a pen and paper? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. No, matter of fact, lies. It wasn't a pen and paper. I took out my phone and used a notepad and wrote the verse and the hook, and I said, this is when I was going on tour with Kimani Marley still, and I was like, you know what, Kim wanted us to write, so he wanted the band to do some music for him. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to write this for Kim and see what he thinks. And that's how I got the song. Kim is a very handsome guy, and girls love him. So I just pictured him, at a club, and him and a girl seeing each other. And then, I didn't want it to sound too Rastafarian and too pop. So I just mixed the two together. I know he always talk about love and chant. I mean, you can't go wrong with the word chant.
Go wrong with
So I just figured, it goes together. And yeah, that's what happened. I just kept hearing chanting in my ear.
So you originally wrote it for Kimani Marley?
I originally wrote it for Kim. He was working on Shatta's the movie and touring, and working on his fashion line, on his clothing line. So he was doing a lot. He wanted to schedule studio time, but we never got to. So time goes by, and I'm not the one to wait. Sorry, we could work. If you write one, you could write another one.
Listen, if you write, you write. Please,
Exactly.
putting on her makeup, and she heard something. She started writing. That's how. Right? Listen, people write songs on toilet paper. Listen,
Okay.
When you got it in you, it don't matter how it come out. It's coming out.